Hey everyone, Micah here with Electrek, and today we're reviewing the Electric Bike Company's Model J in a custom paint job. More on that in a moment. Come along with us while we check out this awesome bike. There is a lot of cool stuff to cover here with the Electric Bike Company. Let's start with the fact that not only are they based in the US with multiple facilities in Newport Beach, California, but that's actually where they build their e-bikes as well. So these are American-built e-bikes. Yeah, they don't actually build their own battery cells, but they do build their own batteries. And yeah, they don't produce their own brake calipers, but they build their bikes with them in California, etc. So this is as American-made as it gets in the e-bike industry, insofar as an American-made salad has avocados grown in Mexico. The next cool thing about the company is that because they build these bikes locally, they also ship them 100% fully assembled. That means you get a massive box with an already built bike inside of it. All you have to do is flip up the handlebars and tighten them. There's no bolting on the bars, there's no screwing on pedals, there's no mounting wheels and forks, etc. The tires are even pumped up and ready to rock and roll right out of the box. And don't forget about the wide range of accessories you can get too, from custom painted helmets to alarm systems, surfboard racks, toolkits, MIK storage options, and that's just a tiny fraction of the list. And I know we're over a minute into this review of the bike and I haven't really shown you the bike yet, and I promise we're gonna get there, but I have one super cool thing left to show you first. It's the company's customizer application on their site, and it's how I designed this bike. It lets you literally customize everything on the bike, and I mean everything. They actually have a few pre-made color designs in case you're not feeling creative, but you can totally design your own from the ground up. I started with a base Model J that's currently on sale for $12.99 right now, down from the $1,499 MSRP, which is still a great price. Next, I chose a pretty blue color for the frame, but they have a ton of options for paint colors. And quick side note, the way they can do this is that they have their own massive paint facility. I visited an earlier, smaller paint facility of theirs a couple years ago, and even got to paint a frame myself, so I've seen firsthand just how custom they can get. Alright, back to my bike. I added a suspension fork next instead of the rigid fork, because why the heck not? If you give me the option, I'm gonna choose it. I left the fork white for the nice contrast, but you can go nuts with fork colors too. I changed the chain guard to black to blend in with the trim, so I left the rims and tires black, though you can change the colors of both of those if you want. I added a second battery to double the range, but you can go triple on the battery if you really want 150 miles of range, but that felt a bit excessive to me. There are a bunch of different styles of handlebars, but I like the BMX bars the best as they were decently high up, but not like ape hangers or anything. And I kept them black, though silver might have matched those fork stanchions now that I look at it. Next I stuck with the vegan leather for the handlebar grips and black color for both those grips and the seat, though you can play with those too. I definitely wanted a rack for utility, though to be honest, I don't know what possessed me to go with brown there. In hindsight, they really shouldn't have let someone like me, with zero eye for aesthetics, choose colors. Or they should at least have a warning message that pops up and confirms whether you really want your rack to be the same color as the poop emoji. Either way, what's done is done, this is my rack. From there, I added an MIK rack accessory for utility, and I switched that thumb throttle to a half twist throttle because I'm not a psychopath. I left the single speed setup because the highest elevation around here is a speed bump, though you can get a 7-speed shifter for $49. There's the upgraded technology package with things like turn signals, better brakes, big horn, nicer toolkit, etc, etc, etc. Then there's the anti-theft tracker option, there's a torque sensor option, which is awesome to have that choice by the way, and an extended warranty, though the whole thing already comes with a 5-year battery and 10-year frame warranty to begin with. And finally, after all of that, out pops your bike in the end, just like you built it, delivered to your door in 6 hours or less, or it's free. Nah, just kidding about that last part. Because they're built custom to order, it can take 2 to 4 weeks depending on the season. It's quicker if you go with one of their pre-designed bikes and do less customization. But it's definitely worth it when you have the exact bike in your hands that you designed, and it's a one-of-a-kind bike. I'm sure there are no other Model Js out there exactly like mine, especially with that rack. Okay, now let's get into the actual bike. Man, thank you guys for sticking with me till now. Let's go for a quick ride. This is obviously a moped-style e-bike in the same vein of Super 73 style rides, and that's exactly the experience it gives you, though a bit more cruisery too, which is likely due to Electric Bike Company's heritage starting with mostly beach cruiser bikes before expanding into folders, adventure bikes, mopeds, and more. Even so, you definitely still feel like you're on a moped, and the parts like those e-bike rated tires, the turn signals, that big ol' moto-style headlight, and the long bench seat all add to that riding effect. Now I'll say that it's not the best pedaling bike because the seat is not adjustable, so you've got that high knee effect. However, it still pedals decently for a moped-style bike, and the fact that they have these massive dinner plate-sized 58-tooth chainrings means you can actually get a good pedal cadence even at over 20 miles an hour, despite the bike being a single speed like this, so that's great. And speaking of speed, you can unlock the bike up to 28 miles per hour on pedal assist if you live in an area where Class 3 e-bikes are kosher, or you can chill at 20 miles per hour on the factory setting using pedal assist and throttle. The suspension fork up front is a nice add-on, though you sit far enough back over the rear wheel that you definitely still feel bumps from the rear. Dropping the tire pressure back there a bit can help, but there's a limit to what you can do with a hardtail bike, of course. This definitely is not an off-roader, but most people are going to be sticking to the streets and bike lanes with a bike like this. The feel of the Model J is very relaxed, though part of that is because I went with pretty tall handlebars. The BMX bars definitely fit this style, and I love that I've got a comfortable upright seating position here. The motor in back here, it's listed at 750 watts, and the power does build up, but it comes on relatively smoothly in the beginning, meaning you don't get that sensation of just launching off the line that you might have felt with some other e-bikes. On the one hand, I kind of miss that, but on the other hand, this is definitely more refined, and it's likely easier on the bike and the motor, meaning they'll last longer without the sudden shock of dropping all that power at once. I'm guessing it's a throttle ramping response that they have programmed into the controller that increases the power gradually for the first second or two, instead of just dumping 750 watts immediately at the twist of a wrist. The brakes, they're the opposite though. They dump all their power at once. These quad piston brakes will stop on a dime and leave you with change. They're top notch, like a lot of the components around the bike. That color display, it's beautiful and easily readable, though it can be a bit information dense, which I actually like because I'm a data guy, give me all the info you have, but some people might see it as more than they need. You can also customize it and select different screens of data if you want. And I love the insistence on corrosion-resistant hardware, which makes sense since this is an e-bike from a cruiser bike company, and they know a thing or two about beachfront bikes. As much as I love most everything here, I still have one more complaint though, and that's the fact that the center-mounted side stand is far enough forward to, bam, give you pedal lock. They even have a rear-mounted kickstand boss back here though, so perhaps some riders will want to swap on a rear stand instead. The center mount, to be fair, is more stable, but it's just been so long since I had a bike that could do this pedal lock thing that I almost forgot it existed. But then, dang you EPC, you've won me back again with your awesome helmet, which, yep, we gotta go back to that customizer. They will paint up your custom helmet for you however you want, and you can even customize parts like the trim color and the strap color. It looks awesome, and it's actually a great helmet too, with front and rear LED lights built right into it. To me, that is an awesome cherry on top that just speaks to how customizable Electrek Bike Company makes their products. And that would be cool on its own, but the fact that these are fully customizable bikes is really just an addition to the fact that they start out as great rides in their own right. Great components, well made, and built by local Americans earning a living wage. What's not to like here, folks?
Thanks for watching, everyone. We hope you enjoyed that review of the Electrek Bike Company's Model J. If you did, why don't you give the video a thumbs up? And don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss any of our future electric vehicle videos. We'll see you here next time.